Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and a warm welcome to season 22-23 with the Red and Blue Review. My name is Nick Philpott. I'm down here in the corner. I don't know if you can see me, but it doesn't really matter if you can't. I am joined, and we are being very well hosted by Jels Holyoke. Jels, put your face in the picture.
There he is, the man himself.
The big man, chef, host, and everything else. We're at Shays Holyoke this evening, and I am delighted to be joined with our team. Ladies first, good evening. Luce, welcome. How are you?
Thank you very much, Nick. I'm good.
We missed you. Lucy's back on the screen where she belongs. All the way from Australia, it's Mr. Aaron Myers. Mr. What's his name? What's he watching tonight?
Love Island.
Oh, Love Island. That's what I was looking for. That's why. Apparently, Aaron can't hang around too long, ladies and gentlemen, because he's watching Love Island. Your thoughts in the comments, please. Welcome, mate. Welcome back from Australia.
Thank you very much.
And also Ian Noble, as always, Mr. Reliables here on evening, Ian.
Evening, guys.
And Tim Richards is obviously sitting beside me. It's one with the shiny head. Evening, Tim.
Evening, sir.
Nigel, if you can hear me, could you please bring Fergus up? Because, ladies and gentlemen, we have a guest with us this evening that Ian's going to be talking to in a minute. And he's going to be talking to us about the trip to Australia down under. Oh, hello, Nigel.
He's dropped out, but I'll bring him back in.
Yeah, that'd be good. So this evening, ladies and gentlemen, we're just having a bit of a jolly, a pre-season jolly, just talking about what's going to happen with the season and all the rest of it, and what we think is going to happen. I think by the end of our predictions this evening, you're going to be surprised what my thoughts are on how this season will pan out. If you remember Holyoke last year, he was talking about 8 and 18, okay? He was talking about the 8th and 18th league position. I'm just going to move along a little bit, so I could probably get that a bit better.
No, let's go the other way.
And I must excuse myself later. I've had a bit of an accident this summer.
We don't need to know about that. We don't need to know. Just get on with it.
And I'll get it sorted out. Oh, Facebook user. Hello from sunny Bahamas. Facebook user, that's what you're coming up on screen as. Can you give us your name so we can say hello to you? I'm just seeing if there's any comments coming through on there. So, how's the summer? Paul Holden, Mark Callaghan, I can see you. Good evening, guys. How has the summer been? Transfer window. Anybody give me an idea of what they think our next transfer spend is? See, you and technology. How many times have we got to have this conversation?
You're a cheeky bugger.
Any idea how much we have spent? What the net spend is so far in this summer's transfer window?
46 million.
You didn't ask me to prepare this, so I've no idea off the top of my head.
I'm going to go 35 million.
You're very close. It's actually 27 million.
That's not bad, is it?
And I don't think we've overexerted ourselves at all. And there's still, how many days left? 33 days left of the transfer window. Ladies and gentlemen out in Facebook land, how do you feel that we've done so far in this transfer window? I think the most exciting thing is check the Corey. Andrew, I can see you. Andrew, is that you out in the Bahamas? Tom Clark Samuel, ladies and gentlemen, let's check the Corey.
That is Chris Richards.
And Chris Richards is
not
obviously
Cliff Richards. Chris Richards. That is check the Corey.
Andrew, I can see.
There's Chris Richards. Let's get this right, guys.
That's Chris Richards. Okay, American international, joined us from Bayern Munich.
Sam Johnston there. There's Sam, all the way from West Bromwich Albion.
I must mention on Tom Clark Samuel. Tom messaged me just before we went live. So, ladies and gentlemen, our pre-Arsenal fun thing that he does on Instagram is now up, running, and live. Please get on there, give it a like, give it a share, or whatever it is you do on Instagram. Mark Callaghan's in there. James, Steve, I can see you. George Wackwood, good evening, Joan. Joan, how are you? Great to see you back. Oh,
Do you want me to do some?
Yeah, please do.
Big shout out here to Paul Holden. We've got Andrew as well. We've got Graham Kitch. Big love to the GK. We've got Daniel Garlick. We've got Andy Hopper. We've got Simon Prebin. Hello. We've got Luke Cooper. We've got Mark Corbett. We've also got Tom. Hello, Tom. Always good to see you on here. Lee Clark. Joan Wells. Joan, I always try and give you a little shout out. It's good to see you back on here. George, can't wait to see you in the new season. We've got Simon Daly watching as well. We've got James Convey. We've got Tim over there, which must be on Nick's phone. That's not confusing. Kathy Thompson. We've got Daniel Garlick as well. Keep your comments coming in, and we'll try and get them a shout out. But it's wonderful to see you.
I think what we want to know is what your prediction is and where we're going to finish in the league. So if you want to start putting that in the chat, that would be really good. You've got a choice, 1 to 20, really, So
Shall we throw him under the bus first of all, Mr. 8 and 18? Okay, Gel Holio, your thoughts on the transfer window starting off, and your thoughts on where we will end up as a team this season.
Well, you know that when the football season is not the football season, that I actually don't care about football. So I've had today to think about this purely because you've all come over, and I can't say 8 for 18.
No, you
So
can't.
I'm
You can have
going
one.
to say 9. I'm going to just say 9.
Jones agreeing with Joe there.
Well, it's very optimistic. I'm very impressive. If we got tonight, I'd be delighted. Should we do any more yet, or shall we hold them for the?
Hold them for a bit.
Nigel, is Fergus going to join us? It would be good to see how I thought the pre-season. I don't know you guys. The pre-season seemed a little bit fragmented, with half the squad in one hemisphere and the other half in another hemisphere.
Why was that, Nick?
Jab and no jab.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, I was when I first heard the news about who wasn't travelling to Singapore and Australia, I was gobsmacked. Frankly, I couldn't believe it.
Can I give my opinion on that? When I saw the squad come out, I was like, "Hallelujah!"
That's highly delighted.
Well, you and your schoolboy era and all that, you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, I bet for those that you haven't seen this, I better say to you that Aaron has flown all the way back from Melbourne and he touched down. I think it was the day before the squad touched down in Melbourne. He lives out in Melbourne now, and he came back at the wrong time. Fergus, welcome to the Red and Blue Review, mate. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Fergus Tid. How you doing, mate? Can you hear us?
Yeah,
Okay.
not too bad, thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
all good.
Good. Ferg, now you were we were talking after the game against Montpellier, and of course, you and I go to most home games together, and you were one of a handful of people that were mad enough or committed enough to get out to Australia and Singapore. Look at that, Uckford Eagles on tour. There you are with Dave Hart and Brighty and Steve Parrish. Look at this.
Yeah.
So tell us first of all, Ferg, why you decided to go on the trip.
Well, I just caught the end of that conversation you guys were having. I actually thought I'd be going out there to see the first team play. And obviously against top opposition, the Liverpools and Man Uniteds. And obviously it's an amazing chance to see your team play in some world-class stadiums, you know, like the Singapore National Stadium, MCG, and the Optus Stadium. So that was the main reason, and obviously to support the team, once in a lifetime opportunity. So I just thought, I've got to do it.
Good
There's
stuff.
us right in the middle.
There's the flag again in the middle there. What ground's that one at?
That's MCG.
You know, that's the MCG, is it?
Yeah,
okay, yeah, cool.
MCG. Yeah.
Now, tell me how you felt when you saw the squad that was announced then.
A little deflated, I would say. But you've just got to make the best of it, haven't you? I just thought, well, you know, they're all playing for the colours, so it doesn't matter who's on a pitch. You've got to support them. So a little bit disappointing, but actually, I think it was a real success. We got to see some of the youngsters coming through, and we've got some really, really good youth team players coming through. The future's really bright.
Good. And tell me then, because you saw them, you know, for the whole game, live, 3 games. Obviously, it was an experienced 11 that started the 3 games, or as experienced as we could get it, probably, with the squad available. But tell me who stood out for you, the youngsters then? Who caught your eye?
So the main one was Killian Phillips. I thought he was probably the best player on the park against Liverpool.
No Irish bias there from you.
Yeah, being Irish, I think he was the standout. I think Malcolm Abui really stood out. Raksaki played well. I do think Abui probably upstaged him a little bit. I think Abui's a fantastic signing for us. He looks really, really good, really confident. Those were the 2 outstanding. I know Jels not going to like it. I thought Ayew had a good tournament. he's obviously trying his hardest to get into that first 11.
He's in the optics at the moment, as you can probably see behind me here.
Is
He's doing a large treble measure to cope with that news. But yeah, Jordan and I had a good tournament, didn't he? Yeah, absolutely.
Ferg, I'll be interested to know your
Yeah.
thoughts. You've seen Abui. Do you think he'll be in and amongst the first team squad, or do you think he'll be sent out on loan this season?
No, I'd be amazed if he doesn't stay in the first team. He played really well at against Manchester United, and he put a couple of their world-class defenders on their backsides. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him in and around the first team this season.
Yeah, Colin Waterman in the chat is actually agreeing with you. That he said that Phillips is a standout player for us on that tour. I was lucky enough to saw 3 of the games on the Palace TV Plus, and it was good. Can I ask one
question?
Yeah,
Really? Sorry, if I can ask a question, only because I'm a part of sort of, as you know, groups out in Australia. How well was we represented out there in terms of, like, I'm part of a Melbourne supporters club, Perth supporters club, living over there myself.
Yeah.
How well was we followed out there, and how did you find the MCG? It's a beautiful stadium to me personally.
It is. The support was amazing. There was around 400 of us in Singapore. So not so many there, but Melbourne, I think it was around 4,000 plus supporters,
Really?
and they'd come from all over the place. They'd come from Thailand, Vietnam, New Zealand, Brisbane, Sydney. A lot of the Perth guys flew across to Melbourne for the first game, and we all flew back together for the game in Perth.
Hats
Yeah,
off
very
to you,
well
and hats off to
supported.
everybody. Really well done to everybody that made that trip. I think it's to be commended.
Yeah, so we know that you're
46
rubbing
hours.
shoulders. Say again?
I was going to say
again,
46
Fergus.
hours in the air. 46 hours
46
in the
hours
air.
in the air. And you were
Yeah.
13 nights, but you only booked 9 nights accommodation, is that right?
yeah.
It's like you're in Australia now with the delay, but there we are. Tell me, you rub shoulders with a few of the great and good of Crystal Palace Football Club out there. So tell us about who you met and who you had chats with. How did that go?
Yeah, so it was really good. Had a chat with Brighty. We had a chat about the fact that the team was split over 2 different, the other side of the world, and he seemed to think that it wasn't really an issue. He said it's not ideal. I had a chat with Parrish, asked him exactly the same question. Did he think it was beneficial having half the team here and half the team back in the UK? Again, he said it wasn't ideal. He said, but if you look at it this way, we've got 10 fresh first team players that haven't travelled. So that's a benefit. And I said to him, okay, I get that, but the manager who's picking the side is over here and they're over there. And he said, don't worry, Patrick's in contact with the team constantly on a daily basis. And then he said, let's see what happens on the 5th. And based on what happened for the first 60 minutes at Montpellier, I don't actually think it's had an impact.
Or it's had a positive impact, maybe, because people have had more minutes and we've had a chance to see more youngsters on the pitch, for sure.
Absolutely.
In fairness to the Fergus, my understanding was that this tour, the Australia part of the tour, was pre-pandemic, and so they were obliged to fulfil any obligations that they had. So I sort of understand it, and the reason for the fragmented squad was the COVID thing. Some of them were jabbed and some of them weren't jabbed, and hence why some of the first team didn't travel. Did you get any of that sort of feedback from the club?
Yeah, I think the main reason was around vaccinations and the fact that Australia being very, very strict. Everyone needs to be double jabbed at the very least. And I don't think some of the players, I think they've only had single jabs. So they wouldn't have been able to travel.
Yeah, Aaron, you want to come in?
Yeah, I was just going to say the main reason they've been from obviously Australia myself is that there is no chance they would have been allowed into the country unless they were triple vaccinated. I mean, even me, as someone who lives in Australia, flying back in 2 weeks, the amount of trouble I'm having just trying to get back in, even though I'm triple vaccinated, is absolutely ridiculous. So
They don't want you back, no?
no, they don't. They do not want me back. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, they don't want him back for a different reason. So nothing to do with vaccination.
Apparently, Love Island just need one jab.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you one final question.
But going back.
Go on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was just going to say there was in the MCG that what I wanted to say was across all 3 games, the stewards were absolutely amazing, so friendly, completely different to how you get in the UK. You can have a laugh and a joke with them. I mean, one of the stewards at the MCG, I said to him, "Do you play any other sports here apart from football?" And he just looked at me, just went, "What?" And he thought I was being serious. But
Brilliant, excellent, good stuff. And you met one other Palace player, Jack Butland. You and him are best mates now, aren't you? Is that right?
Yeah. We landed in Perth, and we were a little bit parched, so we stopped to have a drink in one of the bars. And I just saw this Palace player walking towards us, going towards the departure lounge, and I just shouted, "Jack, you're going the wrong way." And he came over, and we were chatting to him. He said he'd broken his hand. It was a clean break. There was no point hanging around. He was going to fly home for the operation, and he'd be out for about 8 weeks. And I said to him, "That's a bit of a bummer because we've just signed Sam as well, and there's obviously competition there now." And the guy I was with, Dave, asked him. He said, "So what's happening with you and the transfer speculation?" And he said, "I don't know." He said, "I'm not being transferred. I am not going anywhere. I don't know why they signed Sam." So,
Really,
yeah, he's definitely here to stay. He's got no plans to leave Palace at the moment.
Is there anything in the chat for Fergus?
Yeah. An interesting comment from Colin Waterman. Good to see you, Colin. Even though it was split, I feel it was a success. We came to see which youngsters we can step up when needed, with players getting more means is beneficial overall. These are quality players and playing their individual roles on both sides. It was just a matter of bringing them together, doing the same things as in pre-season. And as we all know, pre-season is essential. Tom Clark Samuel says Eze is like a new signing, brilliant pre-season.
Yeah, good point.
Settled in well. Yeah.
I mean, Eze and Ferguson even, I don't think Ferguson will be in the starting 11, but Eze, really good comment. I think Eze absolutely like a new signing for us. Yeah. Has he played, half a dozen games last year?
He seemed back to his...
I was saying to Nick on the way here, wasn't I? The difference in a footballer having a pre-season and not having pre-season is absolutely humongous. I don't play football at their level, but having a pre-season and not having a pre-season is huge, especially in the professional game. It must be absolutely huge. I reckon it'll be so good for us.
Yeah.
But that's also Gillingham pre-season game.
Okay.
And good turnout. And I think it's actually been brilliant having split teams because it's forced them to play the youngsters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another valid point.
And I think Eze, he's got his confidence back. Yeah. You can see he's confident as in his Achilles. Yeah. When he came back at the end of last season, you could every time he's not pushing off. But now his confidence is back, and you see the way he's playing.
Yeah.
Very good. So, any more questions for Ferg? Anyone around the table?
I haven't seen anything else.
Okay.
So, Ferg, we're doing a little bit of a predictions thing this evening. I want to know your thoughts on the transfer window before you go, and I also like to know your thoughts on our potential finishing position this season.
I'm going to go 9th. Just creep inside the top 10.
Fair enough. 9th.
Yeah.
Nigel's making a note of all these, Ferg. Okay. Thoughts on the transfer window so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been really positive. Some decent youngsters in. I think we probably need one more striker. If we can get that, then that would be great. And there's rumours Benteke's on his way out, possibly, but we'll see what happens there.
Saving 120 grand a week. Your thoughts on the Benteke potential move?
I actually like Benteke. Controversial, I know, but I actually quite like Benteke. I think if somebody like Benteke had a run in the side, 5, 6, 7 games, I think he'd come back to his best. I don't think he's going to get that opportunity though at Palace, so it might be best if he moves on.
going to throw you a question left field. Okay, you're not expecting this. I know you're not. Okay, but if I was to give you an absolute choice, okay, a Chelsea player on loan, would it be Ruben Loftus-Cheek or Conor Gallagher coming back? And there is a reason why I'm actually asking you that.
Oh,
Yeah.
tricky one.
What do you think?
I'd have to go Connor. I'd have to go Conor Gallagher.
Yeah.
Okay. And there is a reason why. We'll come to that later in the show, people. So, folks, you'll have to watch the rest of the show to understand why I asked you that question. On behalf of the whole team, guys, Fergus, well done, mate, on your first appearance on the Red and Blue Review.
And it won't be your last. We'll get you back.
Come back later in the season, you promise me?
All right. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Take care, mate. Love to the family. Look after yourself.
Thank
For
you.
joining us.
Cheers.
Thanks, mate.
So for everybody out there in
Cheers.
Facebook land, you can't see what's on the table. Mr. Holyoke, Shays Holyoke, has dished us up. What we got, lasagna here? What is it?
Shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's
isn't it?
pie.
Oh,
Individual
yeah,
shepherd's pie.
it's more of a cottage pie.
Cottage
Because
pie.
it's beef. Shepherd's pie is lamb, I think. Isn't it?
Okay.
Shepherd's pie is cottage
Out in the
pie.
chat, is shepherd's pie lamb or beef? Cottage pie lamb or beef? I don't know. So in the chat, I'm looking at the comments coming through. I asked the question to Fergus: who would you sooner have that? And while these guys are eating, and I'll let them have stuff their faces for a minute, and I'll eat in a minute. I've been talking to somebody that we trust very much on the show on Twitter, Carl Davis, and I just asked him a straightforward question: is there any chance the Conor Gallagher story being true? And his response to me was, "It's certainly truer than it was last 2 weeks ago." So it's
Pre-penalty.
one thing's for sure, he won't be on pens this year. We'll take over the pens again this year. But there's also been lots of speculation out on social media that Palace have made inquiries about Ruben Loftus-Cheek coming back on loan. I'd like to know your thoughts out in Facebook land. Would you be quite happy with that? The rumour. I'm trying to concentrate while these are having a giggle in the background, which is the whole point of doing this live tonight. So, Jill, your hospitality has been outstanding.
We was busy laughing at you, mate.
Says
Says Mr. Love Island. Is anybody out in Facebook land doing what Aaron's doing, watching?
Hang on. Can I just say I'm missing the Love Island final to be here with you guys, so I think that is high priorities there, guys.
But you have recorded it.
I have recorded it, correct.
Super. Not only did he miss the whole Palace tour of Australia, he's also. Simon Philpott says if Connor stays at Chelsea, there's no World Cup for him. Good point, mate.
Yeah, true.
George Wagner is saying we don't really need Ruben Loftus-Cheek in that position.
No, I
I'm not
agree.
so sure.
You're
I
talking
agree.
about the World Cup, and if Benteke stays with us, he won't go to the World Cup.
No.
So I'll stop doing it.
On live on
And they
TV.
let you drive buses.
Do we mention about his car crash or do we leave that there?
But then I would say
Oh, yeah.
that the whole thing about the loan, I personally have a bit of an issue with getting players on loan like that. We want to build a team going forward, and I'd far rather players get time who have signed for contract, who are going to be there for several seasons, rather than get a player on loan, no matter how good they are, build a team around and play them, but knowing they're going at the end of next season.
Yeah, no,
and then you're starting.
I get that, but do you remember the last loan player that played for us, like Connor did last year, was another Chelsea player? Can you remember?
Batshuayi.
No.
Was Loftus-Cheek.
It
No,
was Batshuayi.
no, before that, the one I thought gave a long time ago,
Lloyd Grimmy.
Forsell.
For sale. Oh, yeah, right.
Unbelievable.
You said
for
the
us.
last one before. You mean the
Yeah,
first one?
yeah, sorry. The very first Chelsea decent player that we had was unbelievable for us. And usually, loan players are not good. Can't see that.
I mean, look, you make a good point, Tim, that we want to build a team for the future. But Conor Gallagher did a brilliant job for us last season. He did a job. It's a bit surprising that he won the Player of the Year in the end because his performances tailed off.
Second half of the season, completely agree.
He wasn't as good. And I think with the additions we're making, Eze as a starter now, whereas he wasn't this time last season, I'm not sure we need Conor Gallagher back. I'm really not sure.
I agree.
If he comes, I welcome him back.
I think
But I don't think we should we should break the bank to get him for sure.
I got to be honest. I think with Eze is going to be the guy, but I don't think he's the same sort of player. But I firmly believe, obviously, Eze wants to play in that number 10, doesn't he? He doesn't want to play in the wing. He's always wanted to play in that number 10.
Yeah.
But the only thing is, I'm not saying that Eze is a lazy player, but he will not give you the press.
No. See, that, I completely agree. Right, he is a luxury player.
Yeah.
Another
He
love
is literally a luxury player. Although he's an amazing player, he is a luxury player, and I think that he will make many appearances this year. I mean, going off being substituted.
Yeah.
When if he doesn't work hard enough, I think Vieira will take him out of the game.
We shall see.
There is a lot.
Have we talked Michael Elise yet?
I'm going to do that in a minute.
Okay.
There is a lot of chat on social media at the moment that we are becoming Chelsea's finishing school. And so why do we want to keep bringing people? Look at when we had Loftus-Cheek last time. He got called up to the World Cup. Look at Conor Gallagher this time. He got called up to the England squad. Why are we? Yeah, I don't mind bringing a player like Loftus-Cheek or even Conor Gallagher.
But it wasn't just that, was it? You know,
As long as we get him on.
Mitchell got called up on the basis that
And
he was
Marquis.
playing fantastic. Mark Gay as well, and they're both our players. So they both, I mean, both our two of our players
Well, perhaps it's
that
perhaps
deservedly
it's time-
on merit got
maybe
called
it's
up.
time that we did something a little bit different and said if we're going to bring him back, we bring him back with an option to buy.
That I agree with the option to buy, but I think if he has another good season with us, then I think it's 50 mil
Before we
instead
come
of
on to Michael
35.
Elise, can I just do one more thing? And it's a remiss of me not to do this at the top of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that everybody at Red and Blue Review and everybody else watching this wants to say a massive congratulations to our girls. The England girls last night. I thought the way they conducted themselves right the way through the tournament, to even the way they conducted themselves post-match last
Three
night,
irons.
was outstanding.
Apart from the time they gate crashed the press conference.
Yeah, but even that was funny.
That wasn't very professional, though, was it?
But
Come
it was-
on.
if you didn't
It
see
was
the press,
funny.
if you didn't see the press conference, the manager's press conference after the game last night, go onto YouTube or whatever and look at the clip where the girls came out. It was funny, maybe unprofessional, but you know what? I think they deserve every right. Look at that. Oh yeah, I saw that picture being doctored there. I thought
Can you imagine what the blokes would have done? The language had they won it
right,
would
precisely.
have been horrendous.
That was my point. Even
But
immediately.
funny horrendous, but they wouldn't have been able to have that same control. I think.
I'm not sure they would have done. Oh, they're professional footballers. I
think so?
disagree. Absolutely disagree. The girls, one of them, Matt keeps saying, I mustn't swear.
Yeah.
Didn't she?
Yeah, but she didn't, did she?
She didn't. No, that's fine.
I
You
think
know.
we should allow them their moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Everything they just did, that's what we
But then
highlight.
this is so totally out of the norm for them. I mean, those professional players are playing World Cup.
What's their the timeline? Does anyone know the timeline from when they all went professional contracts like
Couple of years
England?
ago, couple of years ago.
2
if
years,
that.
3 years at the
2
most.
years, if that, yeah.
Well, that's amazing. That's like
You got to realise
amazing.
It's nice. With his young lady.
Hi, good evening. What's the young lady's name, Nige? Can't hear you. You're on mute.
Our producer is on mute.
It's Lucy,
Lucy.
young Lucy.
Lucy, you okay?
Are you okay?
Yes.
She's named after Lucy Bronze.
Are you having a cuddle with Grandad? There's nothing like a cuddle with Grandad, is there? Right?
Unfortunately, she's a Norwich supporter.
They were obviously, they had their.
How old are you, Lucy?
How old are you?
6. Oh, and it's funny that Grandad, what's Grandad? 86.
But also,
That's enough.
Bye bye, lovely to see you. Take care. George is saying, yeah, good point, Nick. Option to buy. Lionesses did the unthinkable. No pressure on the lads now. No, I think the Lionesses are absolutely did us proud and finally put the ghost of 66 to bed in my mind.
Can I just say there was one of the best comments this afternoon from one of the, I can't remember, was it Kelly, I think, the girl that scored the goal. She turns around and the interviewer goes, Harry Kane was in awe of your finish, and she turns around in her sunglasses. She said she was absolutely hungover. Turns around and she goes, I taught him that, which I thought was absolutely brilliant.
Well, I know. So what comments we got? No pressure on the girls. The girls never had any champagne. Yeah, that was interesting, Joan, good point. There was no champagne spraying at the end of the game. Was there?
Prosecco, wasn't it? I don't know.
Probably was.
Oh,
What else we got in the old comments? Nigel, okay. Yuri will say, why not talking about the new signings? What is no one talking about the new signings? Well, okay, then over to you. Who wants to start off with the goalkeeper? Sam Johnson. Ian.
Yeah, strange one really, because we've got two really good goalkeepers competing for the number one spot. I think if we'd had to pay a fee, we wouldn't have got him, but he was on free. Clearly a good goalkeeper, England international. So why not? But it's a strange one, especially listening to what Fergus said about his conversation with Jack Butland. Jack Butland's going nowhere. We hope Vincent Guita's going nowhere. Sam Johnson's just arrived. Remy Matthews is out on loan in Scotland.
St Johnstone.
So, and yet we've got Butland and Johnson both injured. So it'll be young Whitworth, I think, on the bench on Friday night.
So we've got, you're just saying that your comment was about we've got these goalkeepers, and now we actually need them.
Yeah, it's a strange one for me, but I'm not against it. Fine, you know.
I was going to say, personally, I think it's a very smart piece of business. For free, Sam Johnson on free is a very smart piece of business.
but you do know also that he can stand in. He will definitely be a capable number one.
Yeah.
Given
100%.
the option of being thrown in, he will be.
But so would Jack Butland be. in my
Yeah,
opinion.
absolutely. Yeah, and I
Butland's
think
a better keeper than Guaita on crosses, especially.
yeah. I mean, we're going to find out that the I'm not going to say the
Paul
laws.
Bristol said Owen Goodman will be the third choice goalkeeper.
Oh, right. Okay.
I don't actually know this. It's just a question. When does VG's contract run out? Because let's not forget, actually, he is what, 33?
Yeah, it's
34? Like, maybe Palace is saying this, look, let's get Sam Johnson in a year early. And then we've got two.
And
They're not
giving
young
Premier
goalkeepers.
League experience.
Paul Bristow. How old is
involved.
VG? Don't forget, I think Speroni was still playing. 38, wasn't he?
Oh, of course. I completely
If he's only
understand that.
33, he's still quite young.
But didn't VG always say he wanted to go back home to Spain as well at some point as well? So, you know.
He's right at the top of the wage tree as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
So,
Is he?
Yeah.
So there you go. You know, maybe they're getting Sam Johnson in, blood him for a season, and say, look, you sit on the bench, train with them, and then next year it's between you or Jack Butler.
I mean,
who
he has,
knows?
VG has been a great keeper for us, but especially last season, I thought there were quite a few times where he didn't look particularly comfortable on crosses.
No.
Didn't give a lot of confidence.
Joe, there's a question for you in the chat. What's for pudding?
You'll see it. I'll actually put it on camera. All right. You'll like it.
This is wonderful.
I think the thing with the three goalkeepers is that one of them's going to have to miss out on the matchday squad, haven't they? You know, that's the key thing.
Yeah.
Unless he puts two keepers on the bench, and I don't see the point in that myself.
Well, the other thing is as well. Realistically, he would have known unless the club have told him a bit of a porky and said you're coming in to be number two, and that Butland's off. I mean, that's what I heard. I told you, didn't I? That it was off. Anyway, I mean, even if he comes in as number three, he's playing. He's involved in the Premier League, playing or not. You can't play every game. In fact, you can't play any of the games if you're not chosen. You need to, you need to aspire like Adama, what's his name?
Teo.
Who's now got Teo, yes. Very, thank you.
Coventry, didn't he?
Yeah, he's gone off to Coventry, and he'll have a great time there. It'll make or break him.
As a remoter.
Yes.
VG's going to be 36
Is
in
it
January.
Brett
There you go.
They are, boys. Yeah.
VG's going to be 36 in January, so
Yeah, but the thing is, who's the Watford keeper? This is the cycling GK.
Ben Foster.
Ben Foster's 39, and he could probably still do a job. He was.
Oh, Ben
he was
Foster, absolutely.
He was in front of a bad defence last year.
Yeah,
I'm telling you now,
they got relegated.
if someone had said that he was coming to us as a number two, I would have been joyous about that.
100%.
Very.
Well, let's move it on to Malcolm. I know we touched a little bit on Malcolm Ebiobi. Ian, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, great piece of business. He's a youngster. Probably cost us 30 grand, didn't he, or something? And Derby fans are up in arms about it. But
It's going to tribunal.
yeah, it's going to go through a tribunal. But I think he looks better than Luke Plunge to me. Really talented. Fergus alluded to the fact in the Man United game in Melbourne, he had one point where he took a couple of men. He left them for dead. He said, see you later, and got his shot away.
Well, there was the irony that Man United wanted him. They were really interested in him, and he turned them down to come to us.
Again, another good
So, yeah.
Well, I think, in my opinion, the biggest signing and the most exciting thing, and the one that I was tracking all the way through it, was Czech Decore.
Yep.
Obviously, it's our biggest expenditure so far. It's
Been after him for a while, haven't we?
it's
So-
something we've been we've been certainly trying to get him for a long while. I don't know why quite so much he chose SE25. I mean, I'm delighted he has.
West Ham run out of money, obviously.
But
100%.
But I actually think what Tim's just said is valid. How much of an effect is the Vieira effect?
Massive.
Well, we said that. We said that before. You know, when he came to the club,
But
the first thing I would have done, I would have walked into that changing room, got every person in the club, every person, shook hands with everyone on the way through, the tea lady, the kit man, everything, wearing that World Cup winning medal. And I'm a winner. I'm a winner. I mean, honestly, I'd never take. If that was me, I'd never take it off. I'd just go.
Good job it's not you then.
I know. Especially if he's not real gold, it'd be tarnished by
But
now.
I know it's different. You know, pre-season games, they're not, lesser opposition. Down at Gillingham, I watched him quite a bit, and I think he's going to be a diamond for us because the ease with which he was doing stuff, the way he plays,
Well, he's left and right footed. Yeah, left and right
simple,
footed.
in the right place at the right time, laying the ball off, nothing.
It reminds me of the way Macca passes
Yes.
the ball. He bangs it at you and expects you to be able to control it.
And the other thing
like
that the Gillingham game showed me, and it's the closest I've been to Zaha during the game because he was on the left, and something occurred to me that I'd never thought of before, where his frustration comes from, because literally he is 5 seconds ahead of any other player that we've got of looking for the game, where the ball should go, what to do.
Well, he used to be running wise, but
Yeah,
now
but
he
his mind,
isn't.
you can see in
His
his
mind
mind
is, but
watching,
his
he's there,
body isn't now.
and he's not getting it. And
No.
that's, I can see where his frustration comes
It
from.
was a lovely touch, that Gillingham game, when he was taken off, and he spent about 10 or 15 minutes
longer than that.
signing autographs
Yeah.
to all the Gillingham fans that have been abusing him for the whole game. But, fair play, Wilf,
You're on to Zaha. Keep your powder dry on Zaha because I'm coming to that in a minute.
So,
whilst
we're talking about transfers, there's a comment that's a good one. So, from Neil Sounds, who has got a follower anniversary. So, thank you very much, Neil, for your continued support. If we buy a striker, who would you buy, Peeps?
And
that
Leon,
goes to everyone else.
I have messaged you, Leon. Okay, please come on the Red and Blue review. You are more than welcome. We'd love to have you.
Ronaldo,
Who do we want as a striker?
guaranteed
Leon?
25 goals.
Don't come to me.
Yeah, Europe.
Aaron,
Don't come to me, I'm eating.
Anybody got any thoughts on the striker?
I personally, it's going to divide. I don't think we need a striker. I personally don't think we need a
I think
striker.
Edouard's going to do.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm back with my boy.
Sorry, Jordan Ayew for me. He's top scorer.
No, I think. Look, we saw there was plenty of people pre-season. I reckon Eddie looks up for it this year. He looks hungry. I reckon Mateta nicked that spot at the end of the year, and we signed him for I can't even remember how much. What, £15 million from Celtic, say whatever it was, and that must be a man that's saying, I didn't come here to sit on the bench. I'm hungry. So you've got two very healthy strikers there. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to disagree with people when it comes to Benteke. I will personally get in my car and drive him down to Wolves while I am still here.
It's up to Wolves.
However, However, Mateta and Edouard, two perfectly capable strikers.
And competition for each other.
Exactly. And then, we're talking about people and youngsters that we've got coming through. So personally, I think we don't need a striker. So that's my answer to that. I think we need players in other positions, but we'll get onto that.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Gel and Aaron Lovin on the Red and Blue review.
But the thing is, though, you say that, but then our issue for a lot of seasons has been scoring goals.
I completely agree.
We've tried everything, bringing players in, and since Andy Johnson, we really haven't had somebody who can put the ball.
I think the way we play now, in terms of the way we play football with Patrick Vieira, we don't need a striker that's going to bang 20 goals in a season. Look, every club needs a striker that's going to bang in, a few goals a season. But the way we play, we've got Wilfried Zaha, we've got Michael Olise, we've got Eze. We don't just need the striker. We've got three perfectly capable players around that area of the pitch that can score us goals. So,
And Jordan Ayew.
And Jordan Ayew, of course, our best mate.
Uncle Joe will not let you in the house.
Right, so I'm going to move it on before we come to
move
the
it on.
elephant in the room. Okay, Chris Richards, American international, side from Bayern Munich, utility player, can play anywhere across the back line. Anybody's thoughts?
Yeah, I think the reason we've got him is young, his career ahead of him, of course, already proven at a reasonable level, and somebody who can play centre back and right back. I think, got about left, but probably can as well.
I think right back.
And I think one of the things we think might happen this season, a bit more than it did last season, is switch formations during games. Not just start with 3 across the back, maybe start with a flat back 4, then move to 3 at the back, have your wing backs on, pushing forward and all the rest of it. So I think Patrick Vieira's got one eye on that to be able to switch formations during games, and Chris Richards is fundamental to that plan working.
Absolutely.
Also, a replace for Wardy, because Wardy's going to come to Wardy's not got too many years.
So that was going to be my point about what I personally I think we need to move right back. I know that's up for discussion.
Wardy has never let us down. He
No,
got
completely.
performances after performances. He got an assist the other day for crying out loud.
But the thing is, you're saying that, but nor is what's his name? Klein. He's come Klein. So we have the potential to lose 2 right backs next year. I don't think Klein's going to get another year.
So
He's too old.
maybe.
Well, there you
Simon,
go. And
Simon,
again, I mean,
we're going to do the Zaha thing in a minute, okay? But before we do, Simon just made a good point in the chat. Anybody else laughing that Brighton have lost their best player and about to be their second best player so far?
Yes, I love that.
Basuma's gone, and what was the other one?
Kukureya's about to go.
Kukureya. Just need that Trossard little shit to go as well. Because he is a good player. I don't care what. And I'll tell you what, if Trossard was to go as well, you're going down. Okay.
Yeah, we don't want him to go down because it's 2 games a year that we love going.
Right. Okay. Let's move on to Wilfried Zaha, the elephant in the room. We're at that stage where his contract is up at the end of the season. Come January, he can start talking to other clubs. He is absolutely on fire at the moment. Do you think he's playing for a new contract, or do you think he's playing for a contract away? Nobody first.
Well, I think we should offer him a new contract. Full stop.
Have we not done?
I don't know. Have we? We should definitely offer him an improved contract, keep him for another 2 or 3 years. That's what I would do. Is he playing for a move away? Who knows? But he's certainly playing really well pre-season and looking as sharp as ever.
Luce?
Yeah, why would we not? Of course we want to keep Zaha. But if he goes, I wish him well.
He owes us nothing.
No, he doesn't. Don't get wrong, he's earned a pretty buck with us. And, it's worked out sort of very well. But when he disappears for a few games, it's gutting, it's disappointing. And that's kind of something we don't like to see. But he's still the best player I've ever seen in the Palace shirt.
Couldn't agree with you. Could not, 100%. Jill.
I'm back to swapping for Conor Gallagher.
That's what I said in the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
Get the chat going.
Conor Gallagher straight swap for Wilfried Zaha. In fact, it would be Wilfried Zaha, Conor and Cash. So, question: anybody got any other thoughts on that?
Conor and Cash.
Conor and Cash.
Well,
I think he's worth more than
Zaha.
Millwall.
How much do we own United still?
25%.
But if we did a swap deal with Chelsea, Man United would get sweet nothing.
No, they wouldn't, because it goes to arbitration. They would work out what the difference is, and hopefully if we could get someone crooked and say that Conor's only worth 20, then they would get nothing. But he's not. He's on the up.
Can I stamp on that and just say that Chelsea do not need any more wingers? So I do not.
But he's a forward though, isn't he?
Yeah, I know.
He's more of a forward these days. He hasn't got the pace to be a winger.
Raheem
He
Sterling.
hasn't got the pace to be a winger anymore.
Yeah, but they've got Hudson-Odoi, Sterling, Pulisic. They've got so many there. Do they need Zaha? Probably not. Let's be honest. I don't know if that deal would interest them. I personally.
Well, I'll tell you what. Me and Nick discussed this quite a while ago when it first came out. But when Roma was seriously, blowing smoke up Wilf's arse, saying, the manager Mourinho saying how much he loves him and this, that, and the other, I immediately rang Nick and said, I think this could be a Tammy Abraham Wilf swap. And I'd be hugely up for that.
Well, if he goes anywhere, I just want him to go abroad. Do not want him
to rip us up a new one.
But the other, I know we're going off at a tangent, but again, you're saying about player for player, but would you take Tammy Abraham?
Yeah, I mean, he's
a
young
proven
guy
goal
still, isn't he? Youngish,
Yeah.
and, I'd say yeah.
Okay, right. We'll go back around the table. So who did we do first?
Ninth.
You did ninth. Okay. Ian.
Do you know, well, that was the number in my mind as well.
Oh, was it?
So I'm going to say 8th.
8th, okay. Timbo.
7th.
Oh, that's a European place, isn't it?
It would be if City start winning.
That's Conference League, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah, I know, that's what I mean, but that's what it would be.
It would be.
5th and
Yeah.
6th is Europa.
Anyway, okay, yeah.
Okay, Love Island.
Oh.
Who's going to win? No, sorry.
No, I'm going to go a steady 10 for us this year.
Okay.
Steady
Out in the
10.
chat, I still want your numbers. Okay, Lucy, where do you think?
I'm going to go 8 or 9.
No,
no.
What are you, 8 or 18?
I'm going to go for 9. I think we're going to not drop the scrappy points that we dropped last season. I think it's going to be a bit tighter.
Turn those draws into wins, yeah?
Yeah.
But I turn those draws into wins.
It's the late goals. It's the bloody
That's
late goals.
killing us.
Yeah.
Of which VG was responsible for
This is-
a few. And I'm not going to mention the scum, but
That's
still have.
Johnston.
Okay, and sadly, I have some very, very sad news that I've got to agree with Tim Richards. My number I started the evening with was 7.
Can I change mine?
Well, I would have gone 9, but I can't agree with Jels on anything. So.
So there you go. Nigel Croucher, come on, please. I want to know your thoughts. You're not just compiling the numbers. I want to know what your number is. And here he comes. Leon, if you're still out there, hopefully...
Mute.
You're mute, Nigel.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right, so
Booming,
Daniel Garlick saying
booming.
7th. Who else have we got on
I'm
there?
saying 8th.
You're going 8th. George is going 13th. Uriel saying 8th. Who else have we got out there? Leon, if you're there, I want you to come on and tell us where you think. Okay.
Smarty Marty out in the Bahamas, he agrees with me. Good one. Nice one.
Stephen Isles is going
Very
9th.
sensible.
Okay. Teresa would love another cup run. Yeah, I think we always
Yeah,
go.
I agree with that,
Two
Teresa.
steps further this time.
It's coming home. Yeah, that's a good shout. We'll finish, what did I say first? Paul Holden. Paul, don't forget what they used to say on Grange Hill. Just say no.
So
Well, Nick, let me just say that 442 magazine, which I have in front of me here, the season preview.
This advertising.
I know. They're predicting Palace to finish 12th. Last season, they predicted us to finish bottom of the league,
Yes.
which I
I
tweeted
remember
about. They
that.
didn't respond. They're saying 12th for us. They're actually saying Brighton above us, which you can't agree with.
Oh.
And the really weird thing is that Brighton are 200 to 1 to win the league. We're 500 to 1 to win the league, which I don't get at all.
What?
No.
You are
No, I'm
joking.
not joking. That's what I'm saying.
Right, let's give some predictions as well. Super George, 12th. Daniel says a 7th. Fergus says 9th and above Brightstone. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Uriel says 8th. Let's have a look. Quick. Mark Drew, 13th at
Fair or
worst.
shall we not?
Paul Gruber, I'm going for 5. Call me mad, but I have the faith. Loving the faith.
Love that.
Steve Jupp, we've got a hard start. 10th. Paul Holden, we'll finish first again. Loving your optimism. Stephen Isles, 9th. Teresa, I think we'd all like another cup run. How fantastic was that last season? Leon Sounds, 8th.
8th, Leon, eh?
Yeah. Tim Davis, 9th. Teresa also said 7th, by the way. Thank you.
What's the lowest prediction so far, Liz?
I think it was Paul with a crazy burst, but let's discount
No,
that.
no.
I think it's been
okay,
about
12.
12.
Someone said 12.
So nobody out there thinks we're going to finish below 12.
Oh, Mark Drew says 13. Mark Drew.
Okay.
Can I just say when we done this last year, the comparison between this year and last year,
Yeah.
when everyone had us favourites to get relegated, there was that 18th feel
There
about
was
the
definitely
place.
an optimism.
Now look at how optimistic we are as a
Well,
team.
I'm glad you mentioned last year because I predicted 12th last year. When did we finish? 12th.
Oh,
This is
Christ.
very- ladies and gentlemen, out in Facebook land, it gets very tiresome. I think.
We've got Phil Usher, my brother, out there.
Hi, Phil, with me cakes.
Get your prediction in, Phil.
I've got a question. Who would you start on Friday against us?
Well, the whole team. Yeah. I've got to go
Well, in
through.
the middle up front, because the back four is pretty.
Well, I'll tell you who'll start up top on Friday. It'll be Edouard
Yeah.
because he started against Montpellier and he did his chances the world of good by getting those 2 goals and he played well.
I
So
agree.
for me,
Yeah,
it's going to be Edouard that starts up top, and it'll be Jordan O who starts wide right.
Yeah.
Elise apparently has started training. I've had some bad vibes coming out this week about Michael Elise. I hope it's all rubbish, but we do hope that he gets training and he's fighting for a place real soon. So he was in the crowd at QPR. A few people were talking to him there. So if you were there, you might know more than I because I wasn't.
Michael Elisa, if you are watching this, there is no place in our squad for Billy Big Bollocks, okay? There's no place whatsoever. And if what I heard is true,
I heard that.
there is no place for it at Crystal Palace Football Club.
Can do you want to elaborate on
No.
that? please?
Or,
No, let's leave it.
let's not be an echo
I'll
chamber.
tell you later.
So, upcoming fixtures. I was trying to load the upcoming fixtures, but I can't get that. Nigel, have you got that slide up for the upcoming fixtures, mate, please? I'll be very grateful. We have. I'm being thick. I'm really sorry.
You want me to take
No. I'm just. I've got my holiday booked for the first game of the season. I won't be at the Arsenal game. So
That's nearly as funny as me.
my colleagues here will be hosting the show on.
We're going to do a show on Sunday night, Sunday the 7th of August, 8 p.m. To review the Arsenal game and look ahead, of course, to Liverpool. And by then, we should know about our League Cup tie, I think, as well. Second round, which is sometime towards the end of August. So that'll be good as well. We'll get that in the diary. Of course, but we go Friday the 5th, and then we go Monday the 15th before we play again. We've got a 10-day break.
Wow.
And I read an interesting article in The Athletic, Lucy, you probably got this as well, where they put the games, TV games in groups, and Friday nights and Monday nights are grouped together with some Sunday 2 p.m s. Now, we can only have 5 games on TV in each of the groups. That's 2 of them in the first 2 games, gone. Wow. So don't bank us on us playing too many more Fridays or Mondays, thank goodness, after the start with.
I'll be back for holiday then, so I can go to the Saturday fixture. You better. So, yeah, thanks for that, Lord. Out of curiosity, ladies and gentlemen in the background, he doesn't look like a bomber, does he? He's built more like a bouncer, but he's actually doing a fantastic job for us in the background.
I think he's trying to get me drunk.
Yeah. I wonder why.
I'm all good, thank you.
No, I've got my coat, thanks, mate.
Okay, we've got George saying, Lucy, tell everyone I want to see a bicycle kit go in this season. At least one of the goals, I'm hoping. Yeah, I think that could be pretty jolly.
In fact, didn't Edouard get very close that the other day? He
tried.
Yeah.
Oh, he tried.
That'd be nice.
I mean, we have got some difficult fixtures, opening fixtures coming up, as I'm sure you're aware. But you can be sure that the team here, my wonderful team here, Red and Blue Review, will be all over it. Guys, anything else?
Predictions for Friday night.
Predictions for Friday night and Facebook Live. Come through quickly. Yeah, your prediction.
Yeah, can I just say I'm actually going to my first game in 3 years, thanks to the man sitting on my right. So I'm very much looking forward to it. No, that one over there, sorry. And I'm very much looking forward to it, and I hope I do not scream your ear off like I might do.
Lucy, predictions for Friday night.
2-1 us.
Yes, same here. 2-1.
Yeah.
All right.
I think our standards up.
I'm going to go for a 1-1.
I think that's quite simple. Lovely.
3-1 to Crystal Palace.
Whoa!
No!
Timbo.
2-1 to Arsenal.
Anything coming through on the chat?
Yeah, so get your predictions in. So what have we got here? We've got Burger saying 2-1 Palace. Garlic.
He says 2-1 for every game.
Yeah. Daniel Garlic. 2-1 is probably the most often scored. Daniel Garlic 3-1. Smarty Marty out in the Bahamas 2-1 Palace. Joan Wells 2-1. More popular. Bill Usher 3-1 Palace. Optimistic. Tom 3-2. Tim Davis 2-0. Curtis 2-2. Steve Jupp draw for me 1-1. Lee Lockwood. Super George 2-2 Palace versus Arsenal. Thank you for the clarification.
Cheers, George. Is your favourite team we're playing on Friday night, George? Don't forget.
Uriel 2-2. Teresa 3-2. Martin, this is the worst episode of Come Dine With Me. Not if you tasted it. I'm not being funny. We're going to get our 5 paddles out. Leon 2-1. Stephen Isles 2-all. Simon Philpott gutted to say 3-1 Arsenal.
Leave that on the screen, Nige.
Is that the kit they're wearing on Friday night?
This is if that's true and that's not made up, I want you to all look at it carefully on the screen. This is the Arsenal's 3rd kit. Now, if it's true, even the symbols on there are exactly the same as the London Transport seats. It can't be. That's got to be. He said somebody on the Piccadilly line was wearing the same outfit. It cannot be. It cannot be. How funny would it be?
Unbelievable, Jeff.
Right. Okay. So listen. I think we're going to wrap up there. Ladies and gentlemen, I must say thank you to everybody, each and every one of the team here. Our wonderful host this evening, Mr. Holyoke. Okay, you've done us proud as always. And then anybody who wants a fantastic kitchen fitter, give Jell a buzz. He's brilliant. I'm ashamed you're not down here with us tonight, but Nigel Croucher, our wonderful producer. Okay, he does some brilliant work in the background. Sadly, this season, young Greg is moving on to different pastures. He's got himself. Was it 100 gigs or something he's got over the winter? So he won't be joining us very much this year. On behalf of each and every one of them around this table, stay safe. Enjoy the rest of the summer. Enjoy Friday night. Give him a shout for me. I'll be bronzing my gorgeous godlike body on the beach. Okay, shout it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
Love Island Beach.
my name is Nick Philpott. This is the great team of Red and Blue Review. We wish you well. Take care, everybody. Good night.
See ya.
Cheers,
Take care.
mate.
Good night.
Up the palace.
Come on, Whitey.
Go on, wife.